the easiest thing to think about is just, do I look like a trustworthy business, right? And that's an age-old thing. If there's 10 restaurants to choose from and 9 of them look really dodgy, you're going to go to the one that looks the most trustworthy, even though the food might be shit. My name's Gareth, this is Malcolm, as you just knew. We both have marketing degrees called BBSs. They stand for Bachelor of Bullshit, but we will talk about marketing through experience. He's got far more grey hair than I do, even though I've got plenty. And we've been asked, well, I was asked about 5 minutes ago, to talk about marketing today, through COVID. And Malcolm's also going to share some words.
I was going to say, I'm not even going to use this. I was asked about 3 weeks ago to prepare for this, and that's why I asked Gareth about an hour ago to actually come down and talk about it.
So my slides are not very pretty, but there's good content in them. So, so I think this is going to work. There we go. Right, so COVID. What changed? Okay, some pretty obvious stuff, I think. Overseas travel. I lost 2 overseas holidays, and Malcolm got more work out of me. Yep. We know that no one needs to know about that. We all know that overseas travel is not happening for a while. If any of you are interested in the ASX, Qantas's annual report came out the other day, and their flights overseas went from something like 200,000 to 1,000. You know, they're planning on not doing a lot. The way we interact, this was supposed to be up there, but I can't see it. So the way we interact, I do actually need to read this, is through events. So events like this, we're very lucky that we get to do this in Perth, but a lot of the rest of the world don't get to do this yet. The way we eat has changed. If you can't quite read that, the top graph at the top there is opentable.com, a very common way of booking online for a restaurant. And then you've got McDonald's, Pizza Hut, Domino's, and Papa John's. This is US data, which show that the way people are eating has changed. So people used to go to restaurants, used to go to bars. They're now getting more takeaway, that sort of thing. Going out has changed, no doubt, for everyone in the world other than in Perth. You can't go out at the moment. And this is some search volume traffic through COVID, which explains how the lack of searching and people looking for places to go has died off. So it's pretty obvious to see it's gone down. Down is bad. Not in Perth, as we all know. I'm very lucky. Perth's pretty hot right now if you're into bars and restaurants. And meanwhile in Victoria, they're still doing wine tasting at home. So I hope you don't have too many families and friends over there. So what didn't? So what I tried to do with this set of slides is to work out what opportunities were still in the market. And so humans will still pay to look good, right? So health and fitness is still massive. Anything to do with looking good is still massive. And feeling good, absolutely. Humans still have money to waste. I'm not a gambler, but there's a lot of traffic for gambling. There's a lot of traffic for how to buy stocks. If you're in finance, it's one of the busiest little industries bubbling at the moment. Anything to do with finance globally is going crazy. And if you look at the search volume for how to buy stocks and how to buy shares, you'll find it's something like 10 to 1 at the moment compared to what it used to be. So if you're into that sort of industry, humans will always want a way to better themselves. This particular graph is about online courses and education. So if you're into education or training or that sort of thing, there's a huge amount of traffic online for that. Humans still need loving. Online dating still massive. They still want to buy flowers. They still want to buy gifts for their loved ones. There's a lot of things popping up in e-commerce that are to do with buying gifts in food and you know, also anything you can imagine that's to do with gifts. There's lots of traffic out there at the moment for that. This one here, we still want pets. If anyone's tried to buy a dog or a puppy recently, be prepared to pay $5,000 for one. I nearly sold my 10-year-old one the other day for $6. Still on Gumtree. And we still need to eat. So even though we can't go out anywhere, humans still got to eat. They still need to go to the shit, so they still got to buy toilet roll. So anything to do with consumption, food, anything that people will consume is still got plenty of volume, plenty of sales. Any client that I've touched in the last 3 months who are in those industries are all pumping along. So what does this tell us? And Malcolm might talk about this in a second. He might.
The obvious thing is that there's still plenty of opportunity out there.
Yeah.
And the main thing is actually maximising yourselves and optimising yourselves for all those opportunities. And the reason I stand here with the grey hairs and all the rest of it, having been in this industry for more than 25 years in marketing and online marketing in the days where black and white pictures took 5 minutes to fill a screen.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no rocket science in it. It's going back to the basics.
Yeah.
And that's where we're going to come to with all of this. I'll go back to Gareth.
Yeah, back to me. I've got the clicker. So there is still a market. You just have to know where to look, right? Second page of Google is not where you want to be. I was kind of like that joke, but it's pretty true. You really want to be page one, obviously. And e-commerce is growing. This particular graph I find really interesting. I won't explain them all if you're not into numbers and whatever, but the red line is revenue and the orange or yellow line is conversion rate. So this data here goes through February, March, April, May, so on, and you can see the massive increase in revenue immediately, but the conversion is up. And a lot of the people that I've spoken to and clients that I've look after, which are in all different types of industries and they're all different sizes, they're all really busy and all the tire kickers are gone. Like I remember 6 months ago, there was a lot of people wasting your time and a lot of people asking stupid questions and so on. But if you look at analytics data for businesses that have still got products that people just want to buy stuff. You know, they've got nothing to do. If you look at Victoria, at the moment compared to say Sydney, the conversion rates are 2 times, and these are across a number of clients that I've working on at the moment. Their conversion rates are 2 times what they would be in Sydney, only because people have got nothing to do at home, so they're spending money, right, while they've still got some. So how do we take advantage of this, right? So know thy customer, and Malc, maybe you want to talk about knowing customers.
Well, again, it comes back to the basics. There's absolutely no point in going any further than trying to improve yourself against the opposition. Improve the experience for the customer and literally, as we say, sort of know exactly who you're aiming at and what they want out of the job itself.
Yeah, absolutely. So understand their needs, wants and desires, right? So we look at websites all day and think they haven't addressed the basic principles of what a customer is looking for. Or I was looking at a search term today. These people said, oh, I really want to rank under this word. And then I went to their website and I couldn't find anything in the menu that mirrored what the term was. So we can get the traffic, but if they get there, what are they going to look at? So you really want to understand what people are looking for. There's loads of free tools out there that you can do this. One particularly really good one, it costs about $1, but it's called Keywords Everywhere if you've never used it. It's an app extension for Chrome. You can type in any key term and it'll give you all of the data about where people are looking and what they're looking for. So if you're trying to work out if there's any market anywhere, go download that. Do the right thing by customers, right? I'm constantly amazed by Google My Business reviews for businesses that are spending a fortune on Facebook ads and Google ads and SEO and all that stuff, and then you Google them and then they've got a one star negative, like one star review, right? All conversion is destroyed when someone Googles and sees that negative review. So if you have a Google My Business or you have a Trustpilot or any of those review type systems, make sure you're doing the right thing by customers, right? If you're wasting money on Facebook ads and Google ads and all that stuff and you've got less than about 4 standard rating, just turn all the ads off until you fix the ratings, because you're going to lose all the conversion. And that's an age-old thing, right? That was before I was born. So everything will be okay, just a funny graphic. But so some top tips for 2020. So if you're still paying attention, I did kind of write this and thought it was really funny, but maybe it's not. So tip number 0, be trustworthy. I think of everything else you could possibly do in e-commerce, just look like a real business. And this is like one of the fundamental things for SEO, is the Google bot or the Bing bot, whatever. They want to put the most relevant websites first, the ones that people want to use. So the easiest thing to think about is just, do I look like a trustworthy business? Right? And that's an age-old thing. If there's 10 restaurants to choose from and 9 of them look really dodgy, you're going to go to the one that looks the most trustworthy, even though the food might be shit. Like you pick it based on what looks the best, okay? Same as if you get married, you usually go for the trusty ones instead of the pretty ones. So tip number one is delivery, right? I've got a really good case study with a client that had about 10 stores or spread all through Melbourne and Sydney, and a fairly good online store. But she had delivery was taking 3 to 5 days. And I said to her, Maxine's her name, I was like, Maxine, you've got to fix this. COVID is not good enough anymore. There's a system called Sherpa, which works just like Uber, but it's for couriers. It's $10. They'll deliver their product anywhere in Victoria, anywhere, in the CBD of Melbourne, for $10 the same day. So now you're playing in a really cool space like the Iconic and ASOS and all that took advantage of and killed Mars and David Jones. Mars and David Jones would still be here and pumping along if they got their delivery sorted and their return sorted. The Iconic is a classic example of payment options. Number two, they'll give you 110% credit if you return something. So my wife will buy 10 dresses and then she'll send 5 back and then she'll get 110% of the value and then she'll go buy them again. And it's a fantastic little behavioural science loop that you think, oh, why would I give away 110% of what they've paid? But it keeps you wedded to the business. And rather than going looking somewhere else, I go to the Iconic. I don't go anywhere else anymore. So payment options, Afterpay, that's an obvious one. Zip Pay is an obvious one. Lay-by, But I just think the Iconic's 110% one. I've never seen anyone else do it. And I think it's total genius because if you look at any ad spend that people are doing with a cost per acquisition of more than 10%, you might as well just give 110% back. All right, if you look at the maths in that way, it's very simple. Live chat, constantly find websites that have got live chat, sorry, not there, right? You can buy a team of people in the Philippines for about $10 at the moment. So put them all on live chat, even use the bots, just put something on there so that you look like a business. Tip number 4, phone numbers, constantly find websites, no phone numbers, right? Like even if you go to a pre-recorded message, you can buy what's called a DID, a direct in-dial number, anywhere in the world. So if you're trying to build a website in New Zealand, you can buy a New Zealand phone number for like $10 a month. You can make it call an answering service with a pre-recorded message that says, sorry, our customer service team only operate online, please email us. But to the bot, you look like a real business, right? It's a phone number. Mobile UX. You've got to better do some talking.
I was hoping I'd get away with it. I mean, the mobile UX, obviously 80-90% of all transactions are mobile-based. UX side of things is where I focus effectively with because Gareth always deals with that. You've heard about everything being relevant to the bot. Well, yeah, okay, that's marketing. My side of it is the human. So everything that Gareth has talked about does also relate to the human side of things, whereas you're actually talking to a customer as well as the bot. But we're talking about marketing at the moment, so basically the bot is the one that you've got to please. But mobile UX is when it comes down to actually making the experience of the purchase. And the experience of the purchase, as much as it's down to the great god of Google in terms of speed and certain other areas, it's actually down to the user. Because loyalty is, this is a technical term, it's fuck all in this industry at the moment. Loyalty is what loyalty gets, and we've got 1 minute left.
All right, 5 in 1 minute. Ready?
Yeah, go.
Return policy. Like I've just told you, the Iconic, best I've ever seen. If your conversion cost is more than 10%, do it instead. It's better. Search function. Search sucks on most websites. Shopify one sucks. WordPress sucks. PrestaShop sucks. Do Finder is amazing. You have to pay for it, but it's amazing. It's called Do Finder. Google Analytics. Super simple thing to install, quite complicated to get right. Make sure you spend some money on learning how to use it properly with goals and funnels and filters and segments and so on. Google My Business is the most underused thing in the world. It's totally free. You can do so much with it, more than reviews and addresses and so on. You can get an address anywhere in the world through a serviced office. Just get one. And we could do this all day if we needed to.